Hi there, this is Live Prepper here, World of Joan on Facebook, and today Joan Seed is in the house. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is the bee garden. A lot of people are allergic to bees, and that's understandable, but for those of you who do want to raise bees, or even those of you who just really want your flowers to get pollinated and stuff, this here is the bee garden. Now, this is from an old herb magazine called the Herb Companion, a 1992 issue. I picked these up at a yard sale, and I want to try to get this where you can see this. You see this right here? This here is a layout that was created for the purpose of the bees. All these different, wonderful different types of flowers. These here are the kind of bees, gardens that are what they love. This garden of flower and herbs is designed to create the longest possible season of constant blooms. It provides a constant supply of nectar and pollen to keep the honeybees around, and the presence of the bees will maximize the production of seeds. So you would want something like this also to help with the production of your garden as well. If you want to raise tomatoes or okra or squash, whatever, they all have this flower to them. So by having the bees around, that also pollinates these plants and it encourages them to grow and everything. So this in here is a benefit. If you're thinking about creating out somewhere and you want to have your own honey, you want to raise a beehive, but you want questions on, look at the different types of plants. And like here, it's just a list of clocksfoot, dead nestle, thyme, hyssop, I might be mispronouncing, hyssop, lavender, rosemary, lemon mint. You got sweet magnolium, wild bee balm, wild linoleum, mint, catnip, sage. I mean, there is a huge list. And then this in here is the list. Here shows you the times here that these here will go and bloom during that time of the year. And this here shows you, look at all that, all the way down into that September here. Ain't that something? Hey, that's just wonderful. Like here, like I said, the clawsfoot was March to May. The dead nestle was April to July. This here goes all the way down to August and October, and September to heavy frost is boneset. Now, a lot of these plants are medical benefits. Now, I'm hoping I can look up on some boneset this year. I found one plant last year, but I didn't really look up on any. So I'm hoping this year I can look up on some boneset and bring in and transplant it and maybe get some seeds out of it, because I really want to get some seeds from the boneset. Because back in the old days, before some of these other medicines, was the boneset was like a money crop. They would take and make medicines from that boneset. Pharmacists and stuff would to sell their people. So people would go out and harvest it. This was just like ginseng. It was money. So every one of these, a lot of these here is just wonderful plants. Now the Joe Pye plant, or Joe Pye weed, you want to call it, that's another one right there. The reason it's called Joe Pye was there was an Indian herbalist, they called him, but basically it was probably an Indian witch doctor, what it was. But he showed the pioneers and the pilgrims and what basically at during the time, he showed them the use of these plants here to help with the colds and everything when you're sick, to make a good strong tea of it and brew the flowers and everything up. So he showed them what to do. That's why it was called the Joe Pye plant. They're just basic rumors where he come from, but nonetheless, he showed him whether he was a witch doctor or herbalist. They like to use the term herbalist. The basis is most Indians back in those times just knew how to do all that stuff. So the same way with the catnip. Cats love catnip. I tell people, get some catnip tea, and they go, what? Get some catnip tea, that'll help you. Catnip tea is great if you got upset stomach, digestive problems. Not only is these beneficial as far as the honeybees go, it is beneficial to you. Now, horse mint. You may not want horse mint. Now, there's butterfly weed. There's garlic chives. Now, you eat garlic? That's great. Wonderful. You got your garlic. You'll harvest so many of them, keep them. This in here is really a very long list of from wild plants to tame plants to setting your own garden up if you want to. If you got a place out in the country somewhere and you want to set this up where you can just have this nature garden thing for your plants, and plus a benefits of harvesting some of these plants, Just think how wonderful that is. And a lot of these other plants has other benefits besides that. I mean, sage has health benefits. It's good for body pain and things in that area. The lavender is also, people don't realize it, but you can eat the lavender. It's also, you can brew up a nice lavender tea. It helps relax you. It's good for you. Boneset, of course, like I told you, is full of benefits. There's the mints. Mints, you can't go wrong with mints. It makes a great, wonderful tea. It has a good, nice smell. You can grind some of that up, grind it up, nice, wonderful mint. You can throw some in a water, boil you some water, heat, in the house, and you got this whole nice, mini smell in the house. Plant those around your house. Oh gosh, I'm gonna tell you what, it smells so good around the house when you plant these things. So think about it. Here you go, right here. You have this right here. You can see this. I'm showing it to you one again. And if you got questions on it, like I say, there's even more. There's a pennyroyal here that I didn't see. And then you got your mountain mint. And it talks about the different zones. Like catnip prefers dry soil and are hardy to zone 4. They are easily started by division or from seeds. Ain't that something, division? You can separate it out. Ain't that something? Sweet Mignoletums must be grown as an annual, except in the mildest zone 9 climate. It will grow as high as 2 feet. Now that's something you got to consider. Do you want annuals or perennials? For me, I'd rather have perennials set up in mine. So good. Now rosemary is a spiny seed to attract bees to. Say we're talking to Arizona. She's in zone 6, where temperature occasionally go up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but warm up by midnight. Any snow that falls is gone in a day. So apparently, rosemary can tolerate quick heats of cold, but not long-term frozen earth. So another thing you need to do on this garden, depending on the zone area, like I said, if you decide you want to set you up a garden like this here for your bees, in the fall, when the leaves fall off the trees, just take your leaves and pile over that, and that'll help protect the roots and everything. So that when the following year comes around, then you just go out there and you can clean back some. Not only does it help protect them, those leaves are breaking down and decomposing. You have a natural compost for them. So, wow, there's just so much information here, so much information here. Like I say, sage comes from all over the world, and bees love them. When my 2-foot garden sage plants are in bloom, a dozen bees work them steadily. Ain't that something? And then it said, the bees ignore other plants in favor of the high-quality nectar of purple sage. It's a 5-foot tall, white to gray beauty. The honey made from this nectar has a pleasant, distinctive flavor. Can honestly be called sage honey. Ain't that something? Sage honey, boy. I love to have some sage honey. I ain't never had that exactly. I've had, some of the other ones, but I never had sage honey, and I like sage. Same with the hops here. A 1.5-foot tall, upright shrub, hardy to zone 3. It makes a compact, natural, neat border or a fine specimen in a rock garden. White, pink, white, and blue violet ones, which self-seed in a civilized fashion. When they bloom in, bees work them steadily from morning to mid-afternoon. Wow. I could just go on and talk about this all day. The point is, if you're thinking about raising bees, or you want to make sure your plants get all the full benefits, here is the list. Right here, you can see this. Here's the list. Ain't that something? And then here is the garden design. If you've got some land, even if it's a half an acre or acre, you got land to do something, make you a nature garden. And if you're thinking about raising bees and you just want to do one, try one out. If you want to raise your own honey and you want to get away from all this, honey is not cheap. I want to tell you right now. And if you want to just get more away from buying stuff at the stores, you're trying to get back to nature more, you want to get more organic, think about something like this. This here is just really something that I'm so thankful I got these books here. Again, this in here is called The Herb Companion. It was a 1992 edition, and I found it at a yard sale, and I couldn't wait to get hold of it. I'm always looking for things like this. I'm such a student. I'm learning every day. And I would love to have some land where I could just plant all this. I would be in hog heaven. Shoot, yeah. That's slicker than a hog's back, ain't it? Now, this old country girl here just miss a lot of this stuff having to live in town right now, but that ain't going to always be the case. So from JOAN SEED, life prepper in the world of Joan here, I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.